What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video I'm going to be comparing the specs of the Samsung Galaxy S5 to the iPhone 5s. So we've got the flagships here, the flagship from Samsung and the flagship from Apple, and no doubt these two will be going head to head on all sorts, just as the Samsung Galaxy S4 went head to head with the iPhone 5 last year. But what's different between these two devices? Well, do hit that thumbs up button and let's find out in this head-to-head spec comparison. So let's start off with the biggest noticeable difference, which is the size. The Samsung Galaxy S5 is quite a bit larger compared to the iPhone 5s. 18.2mm in terms of height, 13.9mm in terms of width, and also 0.5mm thicker compared to the iPhone 5s. So you do have quite a larger device on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now that is because it's got a much larger screen. The iPhone 5s has a 4-inch screen versus the Samsung Galaxy S5, which has a 5.1-inch screen. So you're going to have more real estate on the Samsung Galaxy S5 at an expense of a larger device. Now this does come down to personal preference. Some people like the more real estate on a larger screen. Some people prefer a smaller device which they can use more easily with one hand. Now in terms of the resolution, the iPhone 5s has the 1136 by 640 resolution. That's 326 ppi roughly. The Samsung Galaxy S5 comes with the full HD display, so that's 1920 by 1080, and on that screen that works out to roughly about 432 ppi pixel density. So you've got a high resolution on the Samsung Galaxy S5 as well as a higher pixel density. Not a huge deal of difference because you've got about 100 ppi difference, so not a massive difference here. But the Samsung Galaxy S5 does have the advantage of having 1080p, so you've got native 1080p, so videos and things will be looking a little bit better on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now because the Samsung Galaxy S5 is larger than the iPhone 5s, it's also heavier, 33 grams compared to the iPhone 5s. Once again, it will come down to your personal preference if you don't mind the larger, more heavier device. Now in terms of the build, the Apple iPhone 5s comes with that premium aluminium unibody design, which is very popular, looks and feels very premium. The Samsung Galaxy S5 is supposed to be more premium than the glossy plastic of the S4. It's got a perforated back, so it is plastic, but it's a perforated back. It's supposed to feel quite grippy, looks quite a bit like the Nexus 7 2012 edition, if you remember that. It's got the dotted texture, soft touch. Now this is supposed to feel really premium, really nice in the hand, very comfortable to hold. Now in terms of the comfort, that's what they're really been aiming at. Which one is more premium? Well, you've got aluminium versus plastic, so clearly aluminium is going to look and feel more premium. But the Samsung Galaxy S5 does have an advantage, which is IP67 certified, water and dust resistant. So you can easily give it a splash and you're not going to have a problem. You won't be able to do that with the iPhone 5s. Now moving on to the internals, the Apple iPhone 5s comes with a dual-core 1.3 GHz processor, but it's a 64-bit chip, so although it might not look so high in terms of the processor speed, it does come with a 64-bit chip, the first smartphone with 64-bit technology. It's also got an M7 motion coprocessor, so that measures motion data separately from the main processor and doesn't take up that much battery. The Samsung Galaxy S5 comes with a 2.5 GHz quad-core processor, so you've got a much higher clock speed on there. That's one of the highest clock speeds of any smartphone out there at the moment. In terms of performance, we are going to have to put these side by side and do benchmarks to see which one comes up on top. In terms of RAM, the iPhone 5s comes with 1GB of RAM. The Samsung Galaxy S5 comes with 2GB of RAM. So you've got double the amount of RAM on the S5. Now with Samsung's TouchWiz, you've got lots of things like multi-window. So for multitasking, the 2GB of RAM definitely comes in use, and you do have that advantage here. Now in terms of the different storage versions available, the iPhone 5s, you've got 16, 32 and 64GB versions at different prices, of course. The Samsung Galaxy S5 is going to come in the 16 and 32GB versions, no 64GB version. However, you do have expandable storage on the Samsung Galaxy S5, micro SD up to 64GB, something you don't have and you've never had on the iPhone devices, so you can expand the storage on the S5. You can't do that on the iPhone 5s. Now moving on to the cameras. Cameras are very important these days on smartphones. The iPhone 5s comes with an 8 megapixel camera. The Samsung Galaxy S5 comes with a 16 megapixel camera, so double the amount of pixels. The The iPhone 5s has a larger sensor compared to its predecessor, and so does the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now, touching on some of the additional features that the Samsung Galaxy S5 offers in terms of the cameras, you've got fast autofocus. Now, they're saying 0.3 seconds to focus, which is very fast, especially for a smartphone. And you've got contrast as well as phase detection autofocus, which is the first on a smartphone as well. This is similar to something that you'd find on a DSLR. You've also got HDR real time, so you can see the image HDR before you take it as well. You're not going to have to take it and wait for it to process. And you've also got selective focus, so after you've taken an image, you can blur out the background and make it look a bit like a DSLR. The iPhone 5s does come with TrueTone flash though, one white, one amber, and they fire off in different combinations to give you the best skin tones, and this is definitely the best flash that I've seen on any smartphone out there. As I mentioned, we are going to have to put these side by side, so as soon as I've got the Samsung Galaxy S5 in hand, we'll be doing side by side comparisons on the usual style, so do make sure you are subscribed to see those first. Now, in terms of the video, the iPhone 5s comes with 1080p at 30 frames a second, but you've also got a slow motion mode, 720p at 120 frames a second, which is really nice. The Samsung Galaxy S5 comes with 1080p at 60 frames a second, and it also comes with 4K Ultra HD, so that's 2160p. So that's very impressive to have 4K on a smartphone. I believe you've also got 720p at 120 frames a second. There's no confirmed details as yet, but I believe it's going to be the same as the Note 3, which also has 720p at 120 frames a second. In terms of the front-facing cameras, the iPhone 5s comes with a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera that's capable of filming 720p HD. The Samsung Galaxy S5 comes with a 2.1 megapixel front-facing camera capable of filming 1080p HD. So you've got 1080 versus 720. This is something that I would have liked to have seen on the iPhone 5s, a 1080p front-facing camera, but they've stuck to 720p. The advantage here does go to the Samsung Galaxy S5 with a 1080p front-facing camera. Now, touching on some additional features that both of these devices offer, the Samsung Galaxy S5 comes with USB 3, so you're going to get faster data transfer speeds on your computer. The Apple iPhone 5s comes with the Lightning connector, so that is proprietary, so you've not got that universal USB connectivity as with the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now, the iPhone 5s has Touch ID. Now that's the fingerprint scanner on the home button. This works really well. I've used it and tried it out in the full review, which you can check out, and it's definitely the best fingerprint scanner on any smartphone out there at the moment. The S5 also has a fingerprint scanner on the home button. This you have to swipe. On the iPhone 5s, you just have to touch it on there. You have to swipe that on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now, we'll have to see these hands-on side by side to see which one works better. From early reports, the S5 one doesn't seem to be as responsive as the iPhone 5s, but we'll have to see that in the full review. Some other additional features that the Samsung Galaxy S5 offers, you've got Wi-Fi MIMO technology, so that's really fast Wi-Fi that you've got on there. And you've also got a heart rate monitor at the back of the device, so if you put your finger at the back of the device, it's actually going to measure your heart rate, and that can be used with lots of different health apps. Now, operating systems, you've obviously got iOS versus Android, so you've got the latest versions on both devices at the moment. So you're going to get iOS 7, the latest version, on the Apple iPhone 5s. On the Samsung Galaxy S5, you're going to get KitKat 4.4.2, but it does have the TouchWiz skin on top, so you've got the customized TouchWiz skin on top. So you're not going to get the latest updates directly from Android. You are going to have to wait around until Samsung bring those to you. With the iPhone 5s, you're going to be getting those updates straight away. Now, I'm not going to be going into a battle between Android and iOS on this video. It does come down to personal preference, so I will leave that to you. Now, finally, looking at the batteries, the iPhone 5s comes with a 1560 mAh battery, which is not removable. The Samsung Galaxy S5 comes with a 2800 mAh battery, which is removable. Now, they've also said it's got 20% more stamina compared to the Samsung Galaxy S4. The Samsung Galaxy S4 versus the iPhone 5s, I found that you had similar usage, so the Samsung Galaxy S5 is supposed to have much better usage than the Samsung Galaxy S4. We'll have to put these side by side and see, but the fact that it is removable is a big advantage, because personally right now I've got a separate charger, so I can charge a spare battery independently from the device, which does give you a big advantage. Now, the Samsung Galaxy S5 also comes with ultra power saving mode, so this allows you to pretty much get the bare minimum from the device. It switches it off to black and white, and you're going to be able to make calls and texts, and it's going to really stretch that battery for you in emergency situations. Moving on to the price, the iPhone 5s currently off contract, you can pick it up for £550 here in the UK or $650 in the US. Now, that's for the 16GB version, and the other versions go as follows. The Samsung Galaxy S5, there's no confirmed reports in terms of the pricing, but I'd expect it to be roughly about £600 to £650 here in the UK on release, or between $700 to $750 in the US again on release. Now, when is it going to release? You're looking at 11th of April for a global launch. That's what they're saying. So roughly about early April is what we're looking at. So there we have it, the Samsung Galaxy S5 versus the iPhone 5s. Now, no doubt these two devices will be going head to head as the devices from Apple and Samsung go every year. And yes, the iPhone 5s has been out for a few months, but there's still quite some time left to the next iPhone. So there's going to be lots of people in a position where they're going to be deciding whether to go for the Samsung Galaxy S5 or the iPhone 5s. Which one will you be going for? Which one do you prefer? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. As soon as the S5 is released and we've got it in hand, we're going to be doing hands-on reviews and comparisons, camera comparisons, benchmark comparisons and all sorts, as we do on the channel usually. So make sure you are subscribed if you've not already to see those videos first. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, as always, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time. If you want to see more regular videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, which will be below. If you're on a mobile device, it may be somewhere else. If you want to see my previous related video, then hit the link right here. If you want to stay in touch over Facebook, Twitter and Google+, then all of the addresses will be there somewhere, as well as direct links in the description below. Okay, if you're still watching, then that means you've not done one of those things, so, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna go downstairs. See. Okay. There isn't really a downstairs. Anyway, so yeah.